Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the People's Choice Podcast. And if you're new to the show, welcome. Hope you enjoy today's episode as much as I am and check out past episodes and hope you like all the amazing guests that I have. And speaking of amazing guests, I have one right now here. I'm here with Rose, who is an amazing let me rephrase that, award-winning filmmaker, model, actress, director. I mean, she does it all. And honestly, I'm so honored, so happy to have you on the show. We finally got this going. We've been talking for a while. And, I'm just really excited to get to know you, your backstory, everything that, goes on through the process of filmmaking, from your modeling career, everything. So please, welcome to the People's Choice Podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy we finally worked it out.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we've been talking for a while, and our schedules haven't matched up, but finally we got it today, and I'm so honored and so happy to have you on the show and join the People's Choice Podcast family.
Thanks. Yeah, no, I've watched a lot of your videos, so I'm really excited to be talking with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I always like to start from the beginning with all my guests and just, ask them what was it like growing up in their hometown. I know that you were born and raised in Kirkland, Washington. So what was it like growing up in Kirkland?
Honestly, 30 plus years ago, it was a lot nicer, I think, because it was more of a suburbia and less of like a downtown kind of ritzy area. Now it's like competing with Bellevue and Seattle. Bellevue, if you're not familiar, it's basically a smaller Seattle with like, all the fancy cars. Kirkland is now becoming it because we have Lake Washington, which is like wraps around all of Kirkland, and it's the waterfront, so everyone has boats and nice cars and stuff. And growing up, I was middle class and it wasn't as bad as it is now. I actually just came back from Kirkland. I had an appointment this morning and I hate it so much. It's so sad, but the roads have never changed, so I can basically drive it without my eyes open because I know them so well.
Wow.
But the people and everything now, it's really difficult, and especially in our state, it's kind of difficult to kind of make ends meet and everything here. But back in the day, Kirkland was really nice.
Awesome. And it's well, not awesome how it is now, but at least it was great, growing up.
Yeah.
And now you're located in Seattle, is that right?
Yeah, I'm located just across Lake Washington and just north of downtown.
Awesome.
Totally different vibe. I feel like there's a lot more homelessness than you would see on the east side.
Oh, wow.
A lot more car prowling and such. If you're not from Seattle, I mean, you can literally look up on our news and you would see something bad every single day. We're becoming like, the Midwest and how they always have crime like every single day. That's basically what Seattle is now. So I've actually been exploring, looking elsewhere, like Arizona. So
okay.
Who knows, I might be picking up and starting, a film kind of channel over there because I'm kind of over Seattle. And I know I'm not just speaking for myself. There's a lot of people in the film industry that are tired of it too.
Oh yeah. And shout out to Montrell Woods. He's a screenwriter. I've had on the show a couple times, and he's out there in Phoenix and he loves it out there. So who knows? Maybe you get out there.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right. So Rose, you were a very successful model before you completely switched over into filmmaking. Can you speak on your modeling career and what made you want to switch over?
Yeah, so prior to COVID, about 10 years ago, I did promotional modeling. So I would put on like a Jimmy Bean t-shirt and go and sell shots, or whiskey shots and such, whatever, liquor company wanted to promote the models. And I loved it so much. And then I got into lacrosse. And so I moved to Philadelphia And I came back, and the company that I worked for didn't exist anymore. And so I started doing like the law thing. And then through COVID, everyone was remote. And I was just on Facebook and I saw an ad for a virtual pageant. And if you won the pageant, then you got a spot at New York Fashion Week with the designer that they're working with. And I was like, I know I don't have what it takes. I'm just going to put my name in the ringer. And I won.
Hey, see, try your luck, man.
Right. And so it kind of led to like winning, small online pageants where you take a video and of like your runway walk and you submit yourself. And then there's also like photogenic, and I've won a couple of those also. So that kind of just re-sparked my interest because it wasn't even on my mind. And then I walked in New York Fashion Week twice, the last 2 years.
I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah. So the first year I walked for one designer, loved it. And then I went back last year and I walked for two different designers. And last year it kind of, it wasn't as much fun as the first because there were a lot more, I guess, clicks and cattiness that models tend to have. Unfortunately, it's kind of only like subjective to females and not so much males. And so I decided I'm going to take a break, and I kind of put that to the side. And then a short month later, I got an offer to be in like a short, like a 30-minute movie. They auditioned me and was like, you're perfect for the main role. And so we filmed in like a month and a half from there. And then that next month, they released it and I saw it on the big screen. It came out into one theater. And I didn't like my performance very much. I thought that it could have been a lot better, not just from me, but from the director's perspective and the writing perspective. And I came home with my whole family and I was like so upset about it. I'm like, man, that wasn't a great experience at all. And they're like, well, how about you do something about it? How about you write something? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. Then I went to bed, woke up in the middle of the night because I had a dream about the woman, literally my whole movie from top to bottom. Awesome. Wrote it out in my journal. The next morning, I was just like thinking about it, couldn't work hardly because I was thinking about, should I even do this? Should I even go down this alley? And then by the end of the week, I had already cast for it. I decided that I'm just going to write, direct, produce, do everything for the movie. Wow. And then a few short months later, this was in October last year, so almost a whole year ago. A few short months later, I had the whole movie scripted. I collabed with my friend Steve, who's an Amazon book writer, and he co-wrote it. And then after the holidays, we started filming. And then 2 months later, my movie came out on the big screen in the same theater that my movie was premiered, 5 months prior. So pretty cool. That's kind of how I got started.
That's so cool. And it happens so fast too. Like that. Did you have any like experience in film before, or was it just you were taking like a leap of faith and going through it?
It was kind of like trial and error. I did the acting thing while I did modeling for like a year, and that was my only experience. I took a couple acting classes, but that was my only kind of tutorial and experience, just being in front of the camera like a handful of times on, a Netflix show here and there, HBO, like Kimmy. I was on Kimmy. And so just a couple of small things. And I was so mesmerized by the whole process because it's a lot more than modeling. You're working intimately with a group of photographers versus a group of, 10, 20 people with cameras in front of you. So totally different. Also memorizing scripts was totally different for me, but I liked the aspect of the director's perspective. And I'm a type of person that doesn't really need training. I know that sounds kind of cliche, but like I really
I don't need training. I got this.
I'm kind of like that. Like I would
hit the record button.
Be trained and just like see through someone else. I would rather stand by someone and learn. And that's what I did for that whole month and a half of filming the short that I was in. I literally just took in what the director was doing, and then I implemented it with the woman. And I got a lot of comments back after it premiered saying, how much was his budget? It looks like a $60,000 budget. And I'm like, it was $1,000.
Just mind blowing too, because Like The Woman was such a great debut for you when it came out in March. Like you've won Best Director, you also won Best Drama from the International Film Fest. Like what was that experience like hearing that you won these awards on your first film?
Yeah. The very first award that I won was Best Drama, and I was quite literally at Buffalo Wild Wings eating.
Shout out to B Dubs.
And my hands were all sloppy, and then my phone went off, and then everyone started tagging me because they had seen the release, and I screamed. Everyone looked at me, and I started crying because I thought it was so quick, for one, and two, like, you're up against all these other people that have been in the industry for years,
Mhm.
and I had not even been in it for a year. It hasn't even been a year yet.
No, not at all.
And that was only a couple of weeks after the movie release. So it was kind of surreal. And then I won Best Director, recognized internationally, which was really cool.
Yeah, and those are some such huge accomplishments, especially for not even, been in the film industry for a year. Like big applause. Let me give you a clap for that. Like that is so cool. Like it's like yes, like I love seeing people just succeed and win. Like that is just amazing to me. Well, you're welcome. So like what is like one thing or maybe multiple things you want to talk about it that you've learned from filming that you wish you would have known before?
Filming like as the director's and writer's perspective versus like being an actor.
Yeah, from a writer director perspective.
Honestly, just the whole process. I had no idea really, aside from watching the one director and writer's process, but they did it super weird. Like it was two people, and one person wrote the whole screenplay. I mean, it was like a 27-minute movie, and he edited it on this like really weird platform that I think could have been a lot better for the movie if it was on a well-known like Adobe platform. But it was like scritchy scratch homemade, editing system. And so what I learned is like quality over like the time management, meaning there's a lot of people in the Seattle area that just want to create something really, really fast. That's why shorts are so, so popular. They're more popular than feature films. So they create a short, they want to film it right away, and they want to get it out right away. And I learned as an actor that that's probably most beneficial for the actor, right? But from the director's perspective and writer's perspective and editor's perspective, it's quality over time management. So
Definitely.
that's something that I definitely learned. And like the editing process in general, I had no idea how to make a movie. And I edited with the editor. Like I chose a lot of the scenes out and the sequences. And that was really cool too, because I was hands-on in every single aspect.
That is so cool that you just picked up so fast. You're like a sponge, just soaked it all in. And
that's what I've been told recently at work too. They're like, wow, you pick up stuff so fast and you're training other people. And it's like, once you find something that you're really into, that's inspiring, that, keeps you up at night because you have all these ideas. And you're told by multiple different people that they think that that is the perfect fit for you. Like you found your niche, then it makes you feel really good about like what you're doing. And I'm glad I kind of went through that process of modeling and kind of putting that to the side, even though I'm doing photo shoots still, but putting it to the side. And then, acting, which I'm still doing, but it's not my main kind of idea of what I want to do in my career, to finding directing, which I think I'm really good at.
You were great at it. you got some awards to back that up. That's great. You're so humble with that too. Like that's so awesome.
Thanks.
What's some of the best advice that you've gotten so far, like in film?
Patience, which I'm not patient, but being patient, because sometimes picking things just because you're free doesn't mean that that's going to benefit you in your career later. So I've actually had to pick some things. It's kind of nice to have options. So I think the best advice I've gotten from other directors who have been in it for like 10 plus years is just being patient and picking your battles, picking your choices, being able to choose what you want to do, because it's not just like for other people's pleasure. It's like your career choice. I don't want to look back 10 years from now and be like, why did I do a movie about this. I want to be proud of what I'm doing.
Definitely. And let's switch gears here and talk about something that you're very proud of too, the documentary that you're working on that's going to be coming out in 2023. If I'm correct, it's called The Silent Citizen Heroes, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
I just announced it last week. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I caught that post. I just wanted to make sure. So I was like, am I right? So let's speak on that. And what made you want to try to do a documentary style this time?
So a couple different reasons. I'm kind of an impulsive person with everything I do, but I do think methodically, especially if it's about my career, like I had mentioned. But this is something I've been really inspired by since a teenager, but kind of more recently with all the politics going around, especially in Seattle, with our Second Amendment being taken away. If people are following it, like our Second Amendment is quite literally before our eyes being slowly taken away. The right to bear arms. And, it's been on everyone's mind that owns a firearm, and that literally own a firearm to save people's lives or save their lives or whatever. And I recently did a 48-hour, which is like a weekend. You have to create a film and then submit it to this festival. And the week after, in August, this one filmmaker posted on the Facebook group a really nasty post that I just was so anti. It basically said, I'm not going to name who it was or what it said.
We're calling you out.
Yeah. I honestly don't even remember. Like, I remember their first name, but that's how much I care, is I don't even remember their last name. Like at this point, I would have to go back to see what he said. But it was something.
We'll call him Bob.
Bob.
Wait, no one likes a Bob. Now I'm just playing. Bob's, if you're watching this.
No one likes Bob. Or like Richard. I really don't like the name Richard either.
Oh, no. I just had a Richard on the show. We love you, Rich.
But Bob, he made a comment about how he's so proud. His first short was anti-gun and showing the audience of how guns are hurting people and bad for America and all this stuff. And I got so aggravated, and it was a bad day for me already. I was already having a bad day. And I made a quick post saying, maybe I will, prove you wrong and create a film that is pro-gun and showing how guns can save lives. And I got a bunch of hate for it. Like, people were laughing at it. People were messaging me saying, good luck. It's going to ruin your career. No one's going to watch it. And that just like fueled me up. Like, I hate when people threaten and do those things and say those things, because we're all in this small community. And, I spoke with my significant other, who's part of these, gun advocacies here. And we decided to do a documentary together about how firearms absolutely can save lives. I mean, the media shows that firearms are bad and it's bad to have it. You're bad if you're Republican, It's actually really helpful if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you have someone in a grocery store while you're getting apples that comes in, because you never know with this day and age where it doesn't matter where you are, someone can come in and try to do harm to you. And the ambulance and first aid, they're going to be coming way later than someone that might have a firearm next to you that would save your life. So we're looking to talk with people that are gay, or transgender that have a firearm. We were looking to talk to people that are Democrat that have a firearm, people that have not only owned a firearm or own a firearm, but have saved a life with a firearm. So this documentary is going to be surrounded by proving to media and to everybody that firearms can be powerful for good. And I'm hoping that it's going to be educational, inspiring, motivated, things like this for the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. My ultimate goal is not to be like, I want all Democrats to go buy a gun and move over to the dark side, the Republican side. No, that's not what my intentions are. I just want to be informative, So that's what my documentary is about.
That's really awesome that you're getting from people from different, no matter if they're from different political views or, you know, basically ethnicity or, sex or whatever, like
Mhm.
getting all different types of people to get their opinion on that. That is really cool, really awesome. And like I'm not a gun owner yet. I say yet, so don't try me, peeps. Not fighting. My peeps love me, but I have shot in guns plenty of times, and they're really
Yeah.
fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, I would definitely recommend people to definitely first learn about them too, because there's a lot of people that have gun and don't know anything about them,
Mhm.
but also learn about it. And also, yeah, it's great to have. You never know, like you said, you can be in a grocery store and someone just pulls in and say, "I want everybody on the ground," and trying to rob the grocery store. But if you know that you have your firearm on your hip and you know how to use it,
Mhm.
why not take action? You know,
Yeah.
and
And
I
you
might,
never know. You
you know,
never know.
I'll say I might
And
get some hate for that, but I mean, I'm just honestly, it's to me, it's the best thing. Like, especially if you're trained and you know what you're doing.
absolutely, it's worse to know that there are people, Republican and Democrat, that rush to buy a firearm through all of this, political stuff that I don't even need to say about it. Like that's happened in the last couple of years.
Oh yeah.
They rushed to buy firearms. The firearm prices went up exponentially,
Mm-hmm.
made it harder to buy a firearm because everyone was buying them out, and they have zero practice.
Yeah.
I would rather defend myself and make sure I'm safe and whomever I'm with are safe than have some sporadic Democrat or Republican trying to save lives, but they're missing and they have zero training.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of sites that if people want to reach out, if they really don't know where to start and they want to get like actual factual insightful reasonings on how to prepare and maybe what kind of things you need to know before you buy a firearm and such.
Mm-hmm.
Feel free to message me because I have all of those sites. And then also my significant other, he's starting a website and it's going to be
Awesome.
exactly for that. It's going to be an educational platform. It's going to be tutorials. It's going to be, what not to do at a fire range or like at a grocery store and things like that, like your process. So
Awesome.
those are just some things that are in the works, and I can't wait until next year because right now we're in pre-production,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't wait to be in production when we're actually interviewing the people who've saved lives and are telling their stories because they're so suppressed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because media and everything, it's hard to actually find these people because they're so afraid to talk about their story,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we're kind of in that kind of struggle right now. I'm reaching out to some groups that are in DC. A
Okay.
lot of them
Cool.
are women based, so it'd be really really nice to get a women's perspective on saving a life with a firearm because not a lot of people think that females carry, which we absolutely do. So
I've actually ran into more females, at least down here in North Carolina, that carry than men. Believe it or not.
really,
Yeah, at
huh?
least in my area where I go. I mean, there's a lot of men. Don't get me wrong that have that's packing, their the guns and stuff. But I've ran into a lot of females. It's a lot of females, definitely. Actually, I'm gonna go to a shooting range this weekend with a
Oh,
couple
nice.
females. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty
It's
cool.
it's funny because yeah, you're down south. I think the dynamic is a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's definitely more Republican states over there. Here, we're absolutely blue,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, and people are so anti-gun. And females, there's a lot more female advocacies for like anti-gun.
Mm-hmm.
And the ones that I do know that have a family that has a firearm and carry, it's the male, it's the husband that's guarding the family versus the
Mm-hmm.
female.
Yeah,
So
and that's normally tradition. The men will always have like their rifle, their shotgun, or the Glock. Protect the wife and kids and keep away. But yeah, around here, sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes it's the wife or single mothers. Like they have their
yeah,
guns on their hips. They go shopping.
good.
It's yeah. I mean, there's no problem. Like no matter what side of the left wing, right wing, whatever side, it's always good to me to protect yourself and also, of course, be trained, like I said, because you don't want just anybody with a gun.
Yeah, it's definitely a kind of scary thought to go to a range for someone who just bought a gun. The first step of buying a gun, by the way, is just so you know too, because you don't own a gun yet.
Mm-hmm.
But you go to the range, you rent some guns, or you go with people who have options and you feel what is right for you. It's like buying a car. You don't want to get one that's like super high up and you're super short, right? You
Oh
won't be able
yeah.
to see. So it's the same dynamic. You have to test out a bunch before you purchase one. And it's funny how a lot of Democrats here, at least I've known a lot of Democrats here that go someplace, they buy a gun because someone told them to buy this one because it's reliable. And then they go to the range and it's the first time they're shooting it and they're just pointing everywhere and it makes me afraid, right? So there are definitely steps if you want to purchase a firearm. So
Definitely. And shout out to my friend Caitlin. Her dad actually was the first one to teach me to shoot a Glock. And we did that because he owned all his property and land, so it's cool. So he teach me there. And then I went to the gun range, went to Guns Plus. I mean, it's shooting range multiple different times, but I've always stuck to the same gun. So
definitely try a wide variety because there might be one that's like a perfect fit. You might get a bullseye right away, like I did with mine, and it's totally suitable. Like right away if it's suitable for you.
Which gun was that? Did you have the bullseye with?
Yeah, so I own an HK Heckler and Koch VP9, which is a full size.
Awesome.
It's slightly larger barrel than a Glock. A Glock usually are full size, but it's pretty compatible when you put it on your hip. For me, because I wear dresses a lot, I have to wear like a waistband or like a thigh band because I don't wear a belt very often. But now that it's becoming fall, you can wear a peacoat and a belt and no one will know.
Yeah, no one will know. Protect yourself at all times.
Yeah.
So Rose, you've done so many amazing things from, like I said, from modeling to filmmaking, now going into directing, which can't wait for that to come out. That'll be 2023, right?
Yeah, hopefully spring next year.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
So, and you've done acting. So with all that success, especially coming very quick, sometimes you do get a lot of hate, criticism, backlash, jealousy. How do you manage to handle all that?
Honestly, it's a lot of pretending. in the limelight, it's a lot of pretending and a lot of at home like facials and stuff to try to calm myself because I am a Cancer and it makes it really difficult for me to suppress my emotions, honestly. And there's been a lot of egos that have attacked me recently, one of which I'm having to actually take to court, which I haven't really formally like announced it. I mean, I have been kind of saying on
breaking
my
news on the People's Choice podcast.
Yeah. There have been a couple of posts that are kind of like muted that I've been like, saying I submitted to like Chrissy's court and like Judge Judy and stuff like that, waiting to hear back if I'm accepted into one. But there is a prominent media company that people, I'm sure you two know, that used to be all over my Facebook, and now I'm taking them to court because they have refused to pay me for streaming my movie. So it's not only like against our contract, but it's also illegal, IP illegal. So I'm dealing with stuff like that where people are just utilizing my movie and how successful it was to their benefit, and they're not paying out responsibly. So that's happening. I don't really know a good kind of explanation on how I stay calm because I really don't. At home, if you know me really well, like I'm pretty quiet because I'm like trying to soak it in and try to figure out what's best for my career and stuff. But then
I was always told, watch out for the quiet ones.
I mean, I've become more of an introvert over COVID versus extrovert. Even my significant other has said I'm more introverted now than extroverted. And I think it's because I'm just listening a lot more. And I think that's how I learn really quickly too. But yeah, like another instance recently is an actor has become extremely jealous and has threatened to exploit my movies illegally, which is, illegal under FBI as well. You can't do that. And it's just because it's a start of jealousy. It's totally jealousy. And I don't really have a good answer for it because like I kind of put on this muse that I'm just like bulletproof, but it's really difficult to kind of work with these egos. And literally, like, whoever sees this, if they're in Seattle, and my friends and colleagues, like, they honestly have dealt with this too, because people in Seattle really do have egos, and it's really difficult to find someone genuine that will back you up and also support you. They want support, but they don't support you. And so,
It's like
that's why
that
I'm
in
trying.
North Carolina sometimes too.
It's so
It's
difficult
probably
because it's
everywhere,
like
but yeah, it's
it's like an
crazy.
ego thing. Like, they pretend to be excited for you. They message you and they're like, I can't wait to watch your film, and like, let me know if you want me to help out in any way. But then when you make a post, they don't say anything, and then they make a post on top of yours being like, I'm doing this and it's so cool, and my stuff's on TV too. It's like, it's like competing with egos.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm supportive just as much as I am, like, supporting myself. But there's a couple of people that are threatening, and it's super depressing, and the only thing I can think of is like self-care.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my
100%.
only suggestion, because I am internally really struggling, but people don't see it. So yeah.
Definitely, hoping things get a lot better, and self care is definitely one thing to put up like high, like
Yeah.
and thing, especially
Yeah.
in your line of work where they're gonna have some people opinion, and depending on how much influence that person has, it could really derail like a career or a process of just it's crazy. And
Mm.
I applaud you to always trying to rise above the hate and find ways to not let that get you down. And best of luck too. I hope you get, on Judge Judy. I used to watch that show all the time growing up. So,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
I,
I'll be like, hey,
I
there's
found out
Rose.
Judge Judy actually is they're done, and so her daughter,
Wow.
who became an attorney and then a judge, took over Judge Judy, and I can't remember what it's called now, but I'm waiting to hear back from them. And then Chrissy's Court, which is Chrissy Teigen, and she's
Mhm.
not an actual attorney or a judge. It's just kind of like a fun thing, but it is legally binding. So we'll see. I'm not the conniving type of person. Anyone who actually knows me knows that I will put you first, and
Mhm.
I'm really not a mean person. And a couple of people are making me out to be this horrendous filmmaker that's in it for myself, and that's absolutely not true. I've produced all of my movies, all of them, and some of them I'm still backlogged on even receiving payment, um, that I rightfully deserve. But A Room by the Road that came out in June, it didn't have as much hype as I had hoped. Like, the woman had a lot of reviews and a lot of hype, and I got it on the news, I got it in newspapers and stuff like that. A Room by the Road is only 7.5 minutes. I understand why it didn't get as much, because it's a lot shorter.
Mhm.
But then again, it's supposed to be getting better, as you produce more and release more. And it just didn't seem like it got enough hype. And I really appreciated everyone's participation. And I thought it was even better than the woman. So that's something I'm still striving to kind of get out since June. And yeah.
It's all gonna work out. I promise. Sometimes it just takes a little time. Then before you know it, it's like boom. You know,
Mm.
I've
I'm
had
waiting for it to get picked up. Right now, the woman is on 3 different streaming platforms across 21 countries.
yeah.
It's
What's
doing
the
pretty
streaming
good.
platforms where people could, all my peeps and new audience could find the woman?
Yeah, so they're all free channels, or apps. You can download them for free. Plex TV, Plex TV, is one of them. And then One Hub, all caps, all one word, One Hub. And then the third one is Eximo, or Xumo, I think. It's Xumo. That one should be actually starting to be aired at the end of this month. They just accepted my film, so it's pretty
Awesome.
exciting. Amazon Prime backed out last minute, so
Mm.
unfortunately, I had to announce that Amazon Prime, for some reason or another, without explanation, they backed out, and I guess it happens really often. So, I'm striving to get A Room by the Road viewed, and get interest. Right now, my distributor is promoting me as much as they can for that. So
So you have the support of me and the rest of my peeps here at the People's Choice podcast to definitely check that out. Make sure I put that in the video as well. I love my edits and pops and stuff. So that's gonna
Thanks.
be cool. So let's talk about some staple questions I love to ask all my guests. So like one of them is hidden talents, and with you being very successful in, like I said, modeling and acting and producing, directing, filmmaking. So what's a hidden talent that your friends, family, fans, or supporters, I don't really like saying fans, but don't know about you?
Uh, I mean, it's kind of silly. The first thing that comes to mind is I'm like really, really competitive. I played lacrosse, I did baseball all throughout high school, and then I did martial arts. I think a hidden talent
Oh, martial
is,
arts.
yeah, I did.
Oh,
I love jet skiing. Like if you get me on a jet ski or a wave runner, I can flip it. I can like go faster than you. I can do better turns than you. Like I'm
okay.
actually mysteriously really good on water. Um, so I guess that's a hidden talent. Another thing I would say is just my intuition. Like I feel like I'm kind of psychic sometimes. I know it sounds really
Ooh.
outlandish, but I can literally tell when someone's
Tell
going to
me
call.
what
Like
I'm
earlier
thinking.
today,
Tell me what I'm thinking.
I'm not even kidding. Earlier today, I called a friend and I was like, at this time, they're going to call me back. And without hesitation, they did. So I'm kind of like a little bit psychic.
Oh, okay. Can you tell me what I'm thinking right now?
That you're enjoying this podcast.
I am. You're good. You're good. That's awesome. So here we go. I love asking questions like that, and that's simple questions. Bring a smile to everybody, lighten up the mood, get away from that, that jealousy and stuff. So that's all gonna get taken care of soon.
I believe it. My horoscope says so. I think that it's I see it as a learning position, just like the woman. I watch it almost every day, and I look at little minute things that I'm like, man, I wish I could change it, but moving forward, I will, and everything will just progressively get better. So I'm taking this as a long stride of it's difficult right now, but it's going to work itself out.
Definitely is. And another staple question I love to ask my all my guests is quotes. I'm a big quote guy, no matter if you see them through my walls or backgrounds and tatted on me. Like I'm a big quote guy. So, what's your favorite quote, or even saying, I should say, that you lean on during the good times or the bad times?
Um, I really do believe that everything is meant to happen for a reason. Like it's your path that you're supposed to take. And so I say this out loud too to like my significant other if we're fighting. Everything is meant to happen for a reason. If we can get through these things and these obstacles and challenges, then it'll make us stronger. So I do believe we all are on some kind of path and we have to get through hard parts to get to where we're supposed to be.
Definitely, definitely. That's a good one right there. I really like that. So, Rose, thank you for being part of the show. I just got a few more questions. I work on all my peeps and new audience find you on social media to keep up with you.
Sure. So I have a couple of platforms.
Yep.
I have a Facebook. It's just Rose Kreider, and I'm sure you'll put the links down below.
Yep, links below and in the video.
Awesome. And then Instagram is just at Rose Kreider also. And I have a website, but I can give you that link because it's kind of long, but it shows kind of like my acting and modeling, and then what I've done for Rose Kreider Productions, because I started a production company with the intention of working with filmmakers or writers who want to get their films on big screen. So if they have a script or an idea, we can collaborate together, and then we'll stamp, the Rose Kreider Productions, and we'll work together and create a film together. So I'm definitely looking for more people to collab with next year. Right now I'm hyper focused on the documentary, but anyone that has a screenplay or an idea, that they want to pitch, that's basically what Rose Kreider Productions is about. So I have a website for that also.
That's awesome. And I'll make sure I put all the links in the description and in the videos as well. Oh, that's so cool. And another stable question I've been really like hammering home to all my guests, because the answers have just been amazing, is gratitude. this year, really, well, the last 2 years has been really crazy between COVID, people changing jobs, careers, people losing loved ones, heartbreaks. That's why I wear this chain for all my heartbreak warriors out here. And what's keeping me grounded and what keeps me going is really just gratitude. So, what are 3 things that you're grateful for in your life right now?
It's something, super simple, but people overlook all the time. It's just the love that I have with my partner, because they're in my court all the time, especially through all of these things that are happening right now personally, and like the egos that I'm having to deal with. Like, it's nice to have someone in your court. Um, Something as simple as like having a day job that I'm really grateful for. And then I have 2 dogs who are literally sitting on my feet, and I'm like sweating because of it. I don't know what I would do in life if there weren't any dogs. I'm such a dog lover. I really don't like cats, so sorry, but
oh man, all the cat lovers are gonna come with hate mail now.
most people that know me know that I don't like cats very much, because I don't feel like they're as loving as like dogs. Dogs will quite literally do anything for you.
That's so true. Can I give a side story on that? I actually talked to this paramedic, and he was like, he's been, to a lot of people like elderly that have like just cats or dogs that have died either at their, on the bed or on the floor. And he said that there is many, many times where the dog will die, like starve right next to the owner because they love them unconditionally so much. But the cat is alive and fat because they're eating the freaking their owner, like to live. It's like, dang. And he was telling me, I could not believe that. I was like, what?
Yeah. I grew up with dogs ever since I was like 4 or 5, and they are quite literally my children because I don't have kids. So I think I'm just super, grounded with them because they keep me in check. They do. I'm a lot more homebodied now that they are, older and super needy. I mean, they're 6 and 8 and they act like puppies, but like, you can't go and travel and go party. I don't do that stuff anymore. And I usually turn down little things like that because of them.
Down for what?
Yeah. Well, this last weekend I went to a film summit, which was really cool. Awesome. But I like could not wait until I got home. So I wanted to be here with them. So I think just having those like necessities that I would say in life are mine, and a nice transportation, honestly, like simple things like that. I would have to need more time to think about other major things that might contribute to staying grounded, but definitely these things, if I didn't have it, I probably wouldn't be here anymore. So
well, those are good ones too. I really, really love the answers that you gave too. And for my last question, is there anyone that you would love to shout out and give thanks to for always being there and supporting you, or any more newsworthy bombs you're gonna drop on us that you got coming up?
I'll just say first names because I'm not sure